of the old library halls, where the dust is thick and the silence calls. Books tell stories of the things unseen, of foxes wild and spirits keen. Whispers in the stacks they creep, ghostly chills that steal your sleep. Paranormal truths no one believes, they linger here like autumn's leaves. Bibles open to verses dark, stories written to leave their mark. The wildlife outside hears the moans, silent foxes, the forest groans. The past a beast you cannot tame, a history buff who knows no shame. Paramount life outside hears the moans, silent foxes, the forest groans. The past a beast you cannot tame, a history buff who knows no shame. Paramount tales in every spine, haunting truths that cross the line. Whispers in the stacks they creep, ghostly chills that steal your sleep. Paranormal truths no one believes, they linger here like autumn's leaves. Spirits waltz through moonlit air, books fall down as if to dare. Foxes howl in the wooded shade, they guard the truths that time forbade.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the library on an odd evening, on a Sunday evening, in fact. Sunday, the 21st, the first day of winter. I'm happy to spend some time with you, and I'm glad that you're with me. So let's get into it. Let's get on camera. There we are. There's Lenny. There's Victor. There's Edgar. And there's me. There we are. Ready to go. We have our Christmas lights up and we're ready for number 3, part 3 of our Christmas Ghost Stories series. Excuse me. So let me start off by usually saying hello to all those in attendance. Hello, Gianni. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Gina. Hello, Emmanuel. Patty. Stiggs. Paulie Donuts in the house. Ryan, good to see you. CG2 is here. Angelique is here. Who else is here? Gerard Suricelli is here. Sweet Tea is in the house. Excellent crowd this evening. 22 people. The start of the show is awesome. Maybe they should all our shows should move to Sunday. Who else is here? Oh, Co-Train. Excellent. Haven't seen you in the show in a while. Great to see you, my friend. Zelda is here. Great to see you. Suzanne is here. Gianni, we took care of your moderator status with your new account there. So you're all good. Hello, Delilah. Good to see you. Did I miss anybody? I'm going through this as fast as I can here. I don't want to waste too much time doing that stuff. I think I hit everyone. All right. Almost to the top. I said hello to Ryan. Tammy. I almost missed Tammy. Tammy was one of the first ones here. All right. Excellent. Thank you all for joining me as usual. All right. Now let's talk about part 3 of our Christmas ghost stories. And just a little advertisement. Look forward. I'm thinking of doing a pre record that may come out either maybe Tuesday or maybe even Christmas Eve. I don't know. But a pre record on A Christmas Carol itself, the original Christmas ghost story by Charles Dickens. I have some thoughts around that I wanted to share. So I was thinking about doing that. So keep an eye out for that in case that interests you. All right, let's get into our agenda here. So I have 5 additional Christmas stories, ghost stories for you tonight. And this will round out our Christmas series and it'll bring us into the holiday. Excuse me. Hey, teacher, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. All right, first ghost story. Our first one is called The Phantom Carolers. Before I get into that, Stiggs, I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the book, the original literature that you should have been reading in high school, but you didn't read. Okay, Phantom Carolers. So our story takes place in 1975. So it's not that far away. You know, we were little kids then, most of us. But this story takes place in Michigan on Christmas Eve. And I don't have any particulars as to the person's name or exactly where it is, but it is in Michigan. And the story goes, or the legend goes, that there was a woman who was having Christmas Eve dinner with her family. And she had extended family joining her. And they had a wonderful evening. They celebrated, they ate, they sang, they had a wonderful evening. As the evening comes to close, about 11ish, sometimes around that, the guests begin to leave and they go to their respective homes. And the woman locks up and puts her children to bed. Now, by this time, it's close to the stroke of midnight where she gets into bed herself. As she does so, she gets into bed, and suddenly, after the stroke of midnight, she hears the faint sound of carolers outside her window. And it was a tiring night. So she was very tired, very exhausted, and she was probably dreaming, she thought. I'm just dreaming. What is this? Is carolers out at 12 o'clock at midnight on Christmas Eve? It sounds kind of hard to imagine considering that the weather was also bad. It was snowing. There was, sleeting and snowing, and the wind was blowing. It was a not a very happy or clear night. It was a difficult night for people to be out caroling. But so she rolls over and thinks it's just a dream, but it continues and it gets louder and it gets louder. And she hears the carols, the Christmas, and she can hear it to the point that she's hearing the actual carols themselves. She recognizes the carols. So she makes her way downstairs to see what's going on. She goes to her front door and she hears it loudly as if they're on her front steps. And she's really shaken by this, but in the spirit of Christmas, she's not going to call the police. She's not going to rage on these people, but she's going to open the door and find out what's going on because, it's kind of odd. So she opens the door. As she opens the door, she sees absolutely no one except the blowing snowstorm in front of her. But she still hears the carols. And as she opens the door, the carols start to fade and fade out and get lower and lower and quieter until they disappear. So she goes outside and she looks around and she sees no carolers anywhere. So it's quite an interesting experience. Paranormal? I don't know. The next day, Christmas Day, her neighbors she has a tradition of bringing cookies to her neighbors on Christmas Day. So she makes her rounds. She takes her baskets of cookies and she goes to her neighbors door by door. And to her surprise, she hears from each one of her neighbors the question, "Did you hear those carolers last night?" And she was shocked to hear this because she thought that this was an anomaly. She thought she was just the one that encountered this strange behavior or strange phenomenon. But no, every one of her neighbors heard the caroling, and none of them saw the carolers, none whatsoever. So basically, these were phantom carolers singing in the birth of Christ, singing in Christmas morning at 12 a.m. Now, the backstory she finds out later on is that many years ago, there was a tale in the neighborhood of going back into the 1800s that there was, or the early 1900s, around that time, where a group of carolers were in the neighborhood. She lived in an older neighborhood, older houses, on a Christmas Eve. And that group of carolers met their end, unfortunately, due to an accident. So there was a number of carolers as a group that were hit by a vehicle or some type of, depending on the time period, whether it was a horse and carriage or a stagecoach or whatever it was, or if it was the 1900s, the early 1900s, it could have been a vehicle, a car. But there was an accident due to the weather that took the lives of a group of people while they were caroling. And it seems as though their spirits are carrying this tradition on in the afterlife of singing and ringing in the Christmas day, the Christmas holiday. So quite an interesting phenomenon that took place in 1975 in Michigan, but there has been no incident since then. So that's even additionally interesting to me, because if there was a phantom experience, then why does it not continue? And why did it only happen in 1975? There's nothing before it and nothing after it. It was just a point in time of something bizarre happening. So, an interesting little story, the Phantom Carolers of Michigan, 1975. Hello, Donna. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. All right, let's go on to number two. Number two is the spirit of Bastion Square, British Columbia. Now, this story takes place in 1890. Now, British Columbia is part of Canada, as you know, as you should know. And the story around this appeared in a paper called the Daily Colonist in British Columbia. I don't think it exists any longer, but it was a publication called the Daily Colonist. And the story goes that David Fee was a 20-year-old individual, 20-year-old man, who on Christmas Eve was out partying with a bunch of his peers. And he attended a costume party on this particular Christmas Eve. Now, one thing I wanted to do, I want to show you what Bastion Square looks like so you can get an idea. It is a very popular place, I believe, in British Columbia. Wait, let me get rid of that. I forgot to do this. Okay, here we go. There it is. There is Bastion Square, and you can see there's some old architecture there, stone architecture, and there's also some new, so it's modernized as well. But it's a very popular square in British Columbia where a lot of activities go on. The bars are there. There's restaurants, bars, shopping, church. There's a church there. There's, it's a popular location, and during the holidays, it's decorated, et cetera, et cetera. So let me get that out of there. So this particular individual by the name of David Fee, 21 years old, is out at a costume party. And the plan was he was to go out and have this, attend this costume party. Hello, Crumel and Hollywood. Great to see you guys. Thanks for stopping in. He was about to go out and have a great time and then meet his parents at the church in Bastion Square for midnight mass. So being the good Catholic that he was going to go do, have a little fun and then still do his duty to God by going to mass on Christmas Eve with his parents. So he does just that. And he's dressed as a clown because he went to the party as a clown. Well, Just as he's about to near the church, he rounds the corner and, without warning, a man jumps out from the shadows from one of the alleys and screams, "You challenged me." And before David could respond, the man pulled out a pistol and fired and instantly killed him right there in the street in Bastion Square. Now, it turns out that there was no vendetta between David and this person, this random person. It was a case of mistaken identity, which is even more terrible. Think about it. Nothing. He was purely innocent, purely innocent. Muggsy Siegel. Hey, Mugsley. Hey, thank you so much for the donation. That's awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you as well. Um, so before, the mistaken identity, this person obviously, was deranged to begin with to go throughout and do this, to, even if he did have a vendetta, but he kills an innocent boy, 21 years old. Now, obviously, this has a repercussion in the paranormal because a sudden death on Christmas Eve like this, a terrible murder, unjustified and innocent. So, since then, it is said that on Christmas Eve, David Fee's ghost is seen roaming the streets outside of the cathedral there in his clown costume, looking to still have a rendezvous with his parents before going inside of the cathedral. Unfortunately, he can never find his parents because that was 100 years ago, but he is still trying to meet his parents. So it's a pretty sad story, but it resulted in a spirit that haunts Bastion Square on every Christmas Eve. Based on this wrongful murder, he still comes out every Christmas Eve in hopes of meeting his parents at midnight mass. So a very sad, sad story. Now, the person who did the killing was brought to justice and was executed, was hanged, but little does that do for the spirit, the restless spirit who is still doing this every Christmas Eve. So sad, sad story. Sad ghost story. Not a scary one, a very sad one. All right, so that's number 2, the Bastion Square, the spirit of Bastion Square, British Columbia. All right. Now, let's go on to number 3. Muggsy, you are not a moderator. Why are you not a moderator? We need to deal with that. Excuse me, guys. 1 second while I deal with that before I forget, because I will forget if I don't deal with it now. Which I can't find it. Why is it not here? Interesting. Anyway. So number 3. Let's talk about number 3. Our number 3 ghost story is called The Ghost of Sir Geoffrey de Mandeville. Now, Geoffrey de Mandeville is a historical figure, an English historical figure. He was an earl in England in the 1100s. So we're talking about a very, very old ghost here. Very, very old story. I don't think I've ever done a story this old before, going back that far in history. But that's how far this goes back. So it's pretty far back in history, which is cool. I love that. I love an ancient ghost story, that it survived all these years. That's pretty awesome. Hello, the judge. How are you? Thank you for stopping in. Let me just take care of Muggsy here while I can, if I can here. Where the heck is he? Where the heck are you, Muggsy? I gotta find you. Muggsy. Muggsy. And there we go. There we go. All done. All right. Todd Father, what's going on? That's when Thendu was born. Ooh, them's is fighting words. 1100. All right. So Sir Geoffrey, not Henry, Sir Jeff, the Earl of Essex. He was the Earl of Essex in 1100 AD. He was Sir Geoffrey de Mandeville. Now, let me show you an artist's rendition of him, at least, because obviously, there's no pictures of him, but um, let's show you what I do have. So you have some idea of who I'm talking about here. Very regal looking individual, a knight in the classic sense of the word. And at that time, there was an English Civil War. And Geoffrey chose, unfortunately, the wrong side of that war and ended up being stripped of all his assets and excommunicated from the church at the same time. Now, the sad thing about this is that he was actually slain in battle during one of the battles between both sides. And because of that, he never received a Christian interment. That his body was just buried where it was, and because he was excommunicated, the church never went out of its way to get him and bring him back and bury him in hallowed ground. So here we have a restless spirit. Now, it is said that old Geoffrey over here is also left a curse. He left a curse, and that curse said that the curse was on his property. So, and being an earl is pretty high up in the royal family and the royal order of things. So he owned a lot of acres, thousands and thousands of acres, and he put a curse on the land that anyone who owned his land after him, since it was taken from him, that he would end up in financial ruin. That they would lose everything. Now, whether that took place or not, I don't know. But I do know that the other part of the curse was that he said that he would return every 6 years on Christmas Eve to haunt the area in question with his headless dog. Now, where the headless dog comes in, I don't know, but that was it, that he would come with a headless dog to haunt the grounds that he formerly owned. So, let me see something here. Did I have? No, I didn't have a picture of. Oh wait, maybe I do. No, that's not it. I was looking for a picture of his property, but I couldn't because his property was so vast, and it was part of London. You know, it was such a vast property that there was nothing really to actually hone in on. The only part that I could find is a particular part called Primsbrook Bridge in East Barnet, which he owned. And it said that his ghost appears plenty of times in that area in question. So, and that when he appears, he's in full armor. This is quite interesting. He's in full armor, battle armor, but he's wearing a red cloak that flies in the wind, and he's got his headless dog on a leash. So, quite a disturbing sight to see a headless dog, in addition to a ghostly knight standing there. But I think I do have a picture of Primbrook Bridge, if I can pull that up. So or I did have one. I don't know if it has since left me here. Maybe it has. Oh, here it is. So this is what Primbrook Bridge looks like, and it's said that he haunts this. He haunts this bridge as well as other areas of the property, and that he will be wearing, like I said, he will be wearing that red cloak, and he will usually come out of a hazy fog that will appear on Christmas Eve. He'll come out, and you'll see him in full battle armor with his dog, just wandering and walking about the property in hopes of scaring folks. That was his thing. I mean, it's part of a curse. So his hopes is to scare away the owners of the property that was taken away from him. But at this point in time, the property is divided up by so many different owners that, it's not that type of situation. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of years ago, 1,000 years ago, almost 1,000 years ago. So quite a ghost with longevity. He's hung around for almost 1,000 years, and some people to this day still see him on Christmas Eve. But it's only on Christmas Eve, I guess, because that's when his curse was handed out. So Sir Geoffrey, the Earl of Essex, Sir Geoffrey de Mandeville, the Earl of Essex. All right. That's number 3. Now, number 4. Number 4. Number 4. All right. Number 4 is the legend of the mistletoe bride. Now, this legend takes place in the late 1600s, so 17th century England, and it's linked to specifically to this location, which I'm going to share. I'm going to show you right now. It is linked to what is called Bramshill House. Now you can see it's quite a stately manor, quite a beautiful structure. Obviously, a wealthy area, a wealthy owner. I think at this particular time it may be a museum of some type, or it's you can visit it. It's not a private residence any longer, but quite a stately manor, as you might say. And so the story goes that, and this is located in Hampton, I'm in Hampshire, England, Hampshire. The story goes that there was a Christmas wedding planned by the owner of the lord of this manor to take place on Christmas Day to his young, blushing bride. And on Christmas Eve, the wedding party got together to have dinner and and play certain games, which was the tradition of the time. The wedding party would get together, spend the night before, which happens to be Christmas Eve in this case. And one of the games they would play is hide and seek. Now, as you can imagine, the manor was decorated for Christmas in quite a beautiful way. Paulie Donuts, you're the man. Look at this. This is awesome. 5 gifted memberships. Let's see. Todd Father gets one. Donna gets one. Cregan Rudd, I don't know who that is. Ben gets one. And Honeybee gets one. Awesome. I like that. That's awesome. We have some people that are here again. Cool. Very, very cool. Thank you, as always, Paulie. You're one of my main supporters of this show. I really appreciate that. All right. Now, where was I? So, the wedding party is going through the ritual that they always did at that time was to go through and have games, and one of them was hide and seek. Now, the place is decorated with mistletoe and holly, etc., for Christmas. Candles everywhere. It's quite a jolly type of situation. And the game they're playing is hide and seek. So the bride is going to go and hide. Let's move this out of here. So let's move that out of there. Okay. And the bride's going to go and hide. Now, here's the prize. If you find the bride, you get to kiss her under the mistletoe. So, I guess that's that was the thrive. That was the driving force behind everyone finding the bride. So the bride takes off and goes and hides, and the process begins. Well, the game went on with people beginning to search the manor, looking for her, and minutes go by. Minutes turn to hours, and hours turn to a day, and no sign of the bride. It seems as if she's vanished into thin air. No one can find her. Well, Christmas Day comes and goes, and there is no wedding because there's no bride. What happened to her? She vanished. Search parties went through the place point by point, step by step, looking for this poor woman, but could never find her. Where she's gone, no one knows. So it's assumed that what happened was the bride at that time got cold feet and took this as an opportunity to vanish and disappear. But it gets stranger because her family never hears from her. So if it was something where she just absconded and didn't want to marry, you would think she would hear from her parents. She never does. The parents would have heard from her, or some family member would have heard from her. They never do. So time goes on. The owner of the manor never marries. He's devastated and crushed by this experience. And this goes on for about 10 years until one day when he is upstairs in the attic, he comes upon a old trunk, a pretty big trunk, pretty large trunk, which has a latch on it and a lock. And he gets one of his servants to come, and he wants to know what's in this. He doesn't remember what this is. What is this? What could be in there? Why is this locked too? I don't remember ever locking it. Well, to their surprise, when they open up that box, they find the remains of the bride. And it seems that she went to hide inside this box. And by a freak of nature, when the lid came down, it locked on her and she could not get out. So there they have the skeletal remains of the bride who met a horrible end in this particular box or trunk or whatever you want to call it, on what was to be the eve of her wedding. Now, since that time, this place has been known to be haunted, and haunted by her spirit, obviously, having met such a horrible doom and having, been in a situation where she was facing with happiness and then horribly meets her doom like this. Obviously, there's a chance that her spirit will be restless. And what happens is, every Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So this happens on both, and she's linked to both. Obviously, when she died, no one really knows. She probably died days later because of starvation. It's just a horrible way to die. But Christmas Eve is when this all started. So that's when you to see her ghost. You sit to see her spirit, and it is said that it starts in the attic. The attic floors will start creaking, creaking, creaking. Cold winds, drafts will come down, starting from the attic and enter throughout the manor. And there's no rational reason for it. There's no holes, there's no drafts, there's nothing like that. But cold air starts circling down. And then at Christmas, and at the end of Christmas Eve, I guess 12 midnight, a smell of flowers will permeate throughout the manor, and there are no flowers at the time. So this flower, and basically, well, once Christmas Day comes, that smell will remain through Christmas Day, and then it will dissipate. And then nothing will be heard again until the next Christmas Eve. So we have another spirit that's trapped in the time period of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day that does this over and over again. So just another sad one, right? Another sad ghost story of a tragedy that everyone and there's not even a villain to blame in this tragedy. It's just a hard luck, terrible luck, and a terrible way to go for the mistletoe bride, is what they call her. So that was number 4. All right. Now, the final story, number 5. The final story is very close to home, and it is what I would say 5 miles from my house, maybe. And it takes place in some place called the Public House in Chester, New Jersey. Now, I'm going to show you what that looks like. And it's no longer called the Public House per se because new owners took it over, and it's now called PH Steakhouse, something like that. But for the longest time, it was called the Public House of Chester, New Jersey. Now, here's a picture of it, just so you know what it is. It is a old structure built in 1810, a beautiful building. I've been in it many times. Several fireplaces in it. It really gives you that early 19th century feeling when you're in there. Everything's very old and well preserved, and you can even stay there. Or you used to be able to. I don't know if they still do. You would be able to rent rooms upstairs, so you can eat in the restaurant. The first floor is a restaurant and a lounge, and the second floor and third floor you could rent and stay there overnight. And the history behind this was that it was, over the years, it was a stagecoach stop. It was a hotel, obviously. It was a pub. It was so many different things over the 2 centuries that it's been there, more than 2 centuries. And it was originally built by an individual by the name of Zephaniah Drake. Zephaniah Drake purchased the land and built this in the year 1810. Now, what is the ghost story? Now, the ghost story that I'm going to tell you about this is completely word of mouth, and it was told to me by the owners of this at the time, around 2004, maybe 2005 is when they told me this story. So I don't even know if this story is publicized anywhere online. It's just a personal word of mouth story that was told to me. Let me get rid of this. So the story goes is that the owners said that they would routinely hear ghostly things happening to them, things moving in there, windows closing and opening, all the traditional ghostly activities, cold air, always when they're late at night, always when there were few people around, a lot of activity would occur. So, thank you, Paulie. Merry Christmas, Paulie. Thank you so much for your support. Hello, Marta. Good to see you, Marta. All right. So like I said, they encountered a lot of ghostly activity themselves, being the owners, being there 24/7, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the story specifically that they tell me takes place on Christmas Eve. And they said that, and they owned it for a good, I don't know, a good 10 years, I guess. They owned it before they sold it. And they said that this would happen repeatedly. Um, um, I'm sorry, I was reading some of the comments for a second there. But on Christmas Eve, after the place would close, and the places around here close about 10 o'clock, even earlier, most of them even earlier. This is not an area where people stay open late or stay out late. So on Christmas Eve, after the public house would be open for dinner, and then they would close. And the only ones left around midnight would be the owners and a few staff members that were there helping to clean up. And they said each and every time on Christmas Eve, at the stroke of midnight, all of the lights would dim and would go down to a candles version of light, amount of light. And then a mist would come up from the cellar, and permeate on the floor and would be around. You'd be able to see it around your feet and your knees, et cetera, et cetera. And that it would remain there until someone took a drink and toasted and wished Zephaniah, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Zephaniah Drake, a Merry Christmas. And there was a painting of Zephaniah Drake over the main fireplace. And what they would have to do is they would go and they would get a drink and they would say, Merry Christmas, Zephaniah. And after they did that, the lights would come back on and the mist would go away. Now, that to me is quite a earth-shattering type of experience to be involved in. And there is one time that this happened with the mist that is documented because I found a an article about how the Chester Fire Department went there to try to figure out what happened that this mist appeared. They thought it was smoke. They thought it was smoke, and they couldn't find the source of any fire that's whatsoever. So that part of the story, it wasn't on Christmas Eve though. It was at a different time, but that part of the story rings true to me, completely true. It's not just a fable because it's documented that the fire department had been called because of this smoke and couldn't find a source of it in the building. So it makes sense to me that if old Zephaniah or whatever his name is, Zephaniah, it's an odd name, Zephaniah Drake, is causing this. I guess he liked Christmas Eve, and he wants to make sure someone toasts him every Christmas Eve. Now, whether this is still happening to this day, I don't know, but they swore to me that this happened to them every Christmas Eve that they owned it. So, quite an interesting type of tale by a word of mouth ghost story. The public house. And if you ever go to the public house in Chester, you would feel, and because I've felt it myself, you would feel the sense of history there. You would feel, I mean, I didn't feel like there was any ghosts or spirits or anything like that, but I felt like an aura of history, as if I was walking back in time. And to me, that might be the connection. That might be, what there might be a way of sensing the spirit. I don't know. But there's a link going back 200 years in that place. And on Christmas Eve, Mr. Drake wants you to toast him if you want the lights to come back on. So there you have it. That's your fifth and final Christmas Eve ghost story. So to recap, we had the Phantom Carolers in Michigan. We had the Bastion Square Spirit. We had the ghost of Sir Geoffrey de Mandeville, the Mistletoe Bride, and then the ghost of Zephafina, of the Public House of Chester, who loves Christmas Eve, but you better toast him if you want your electricity going back on, and you want that fog to go away. So there you have it. There are your five ghost stories related to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day that rounds out our Christmas programming, I guess, here on the Guild. That was 3 weeks of Christmas related ghost tales. So I hope you enjoyed them. Zephaniah. Johnny, Zephaniah. And it's a boy's name. It is definitely a boy's name. And I think it's biblical too. I think it's a biblical name. But anyway, there you have it. There you have it. Look at this. Look at this candle. There's like nothing left of this candle. And Lenny and Edgar is falling. What's going on here? Take a break here, Lenny. There we go. Sit back, relax. Anyway, so there are your stories. I hope you enjoyed them. I have some videos to show you. If Todd Father or Strawberry Boy wants to come up, Thank you, CG2. I really appreciate that. He's just lazy, Gianni. He's just lazy. He can't even keep his head up, you know? Um, Let me see here. Copy. There you go. All right. So, Todd Father or Osada, if you want to come up. Thank you, Delilah. I appreciate that. I think my candle's got it. It's kind of burnt, man. Look at this. It's the end of my candle here. We got to get some old ones here. Let me put some old ones up here. These are kind of small too, though. Hello there, sir.
Hey, yo.
How are you?
Not too bad. How are you? Do I sound all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you do.
I have my earbuds in, so I can take it out if it sounds like muddy or something.
No, I think you're good. I think you're good.
All right.
Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. So let's get started here. Time for some paranormal work on camera. All right. All right. This first one is a picture, so let's go with that first. And then I got a couple of videos, I think. Hold on. I don't see Strawberry Queen anywhere, but that's his problem. Okay.
Wow.
All right. All right. Windows. Here we go. All right. Now, this one, this photo is a random photo taken by a family in England. They're on a hike in a forest, obviously. Let me put it on full screen. Now I want you to look in the distance. I'm gonna enlarge it if I can. Hold on. Here we go. I think that's the wrong way. Now, do you see? Wait, what am I doing here? How do I do this? You see that woman?
Yeah. Have you done this one before?
I think I did do this one a long time ago. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's see. Osada's here, but he's not. I can't get him in. This is strange. He's there. There we go. Oh, there he is. You there?
Yeah, it's just because I'm Musada. That's why it's hard to
Okay.
contact me.
Um, yeah, this one I think I did do before. Now, I think that this one, and it showed up again for some reason. I don't know why, but this one I think is blatantly fake. I think it's blatantly put in here because it's a black and white photo put into a color photo. That's how I read this.
Yeah. It's it's daytime too for the most part. It's weird.
Yeah. But for some reason, this has been circulating again. So I don't know, if someone put it out there or whatever. Hey, Stony Tony, good to see you. All right. Let's get rid of that.
Was that Christmas Caroler a true story? The first story you told?
Of the Michigan carolers? Yes.
Yeah. Wow, that was kind
Mhm.
of creepy.
Yep. Yeah. No, I didn't make that. I don't make any of these things up. They're not fiction like that. They're they're legends. Now, whether they're true or not, I don't know, but they're existing legends.
Well, the fact that the neighbors said that they heard
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's see here. Now, what am I doing here? All right, I've seen, we've done these before. We haven't done this one before, but we've done these before where a baby, looks, the camera catches a baby being moved. So that's the scenario here. And the question is this another force pulling the baby or is it just the baby moving? So let me see here. All right, now you see the baby on the floor. It's a little girl. Now, watch what happens to her.
Hmm.
I don't know. What do you think about that? I'll play it again. Is she just doing a shoulder roll there? Like, like
Yeah.
can a baby do that? I don't know.
Well, it seems like the little one is like in a little bit of shock after it happened. Like, what the heck just
Well,
happened?
you can't hear it, but she's crying. She starts crying. She
Oh
does start
no.
crying. So, I mean, I don't know if she's just, she's crying because she didn't realize what, that she did that. I mean, she doesn't realize that it would be a shock to her when she did that. You know what I mean? The question is there someone pulling her? Is there some type of force pulling her? Whether it's fake or, I mean, if it's fake, then it's child abuse. but, but if it's a ghost, I mean, if it's a ghost, okay. But uh, the real question is that a natural movement of the baby? Like, can a baby do that without an external force pulling her?
Oh, it's like a tumble fall or something.
I mean, it does kind of look like she's lifted up a little bit, right? Like,
Yeah.
both
Come on,
legs
Cooper,
are in
get
the
up.
air, both legs.
Yeah, it's like someone grabbed her by that back leg and flipped her over.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
People in the chat are saying it doesn't look like a natural movement. Delilah says, I don't think it's a natural. Zelda says, I don't think it's a natural movement. Um, the judge says AI is ruining. I don't think this is AI though. I, I don't think this doesn't look like AI to me.
No.
Uh, Gianni says a fishing line. Like I said, if that's what's going on, then it's child abuse. In my opinion.
Yeah, you'd tear the skin. That'd be bad. That'd be horrible.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I don't know. She was breakdancing. I don't know.
Could go either way, right? It could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look natural, but I think a baby could do that. I think a baby could do it unknowingly, like she's just
So
walking along.
maybe you said there was no sound, or
The sound was just, there was sound. There was just sound of her, and she starts crying after she makes the
I
tumble.
just didn't know something startled her and she just jumped fast or something and rolled.
Yeah, oh yeah, it could be. Yeah, yeah. But you couldn't hear anything other than her. You hear her like mumbling along, blah 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 blah, blah, and then after the flip, she starts crying. So I don't know. I don't know. These guys are saying AI. I don't think it looks like AI at all to me. This looks like a legitimate film. Like what's AI about it? What looks like AI? Like there's no weird stuff here. There's no like there's not like any third leg or like the weird crap that you see in AI.
Yeah. Nothing looks like straight up obvious that it's AI. You know what I mean? Like AI, it's like you just know.
So I don't know.
What's
It's just
Osada think? Is he there? You there, Osada?
what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know what to think. I don't. I mean, I'm just with you guys on the same thoughts. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's if it's fake, it's a good job because it's like it's not really even enough to like think like, oh yeah, that's definitely out of the normal. You know what I mean? It looks
Mhm.
out of the normal, but not really, kind of. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. There's something there, but it's just like a pinpoint what it is.
All right.
Now, was there any? Was that just a still camera, security camera? Was somebody filming? Is there any context
Yeah,
to
it's
that?
supposed to be a surveillance camera in the living room. I mean,
Okay, so that,
I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know. To me, that always makes it suspect to me in the sense that why are you filming your living room? But I don't know. Maybe they had a babysitter that they want to film. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Nanny cam.
Yeah, like nanny. I don't know.
well, I always had a camera, when my youngest was little, and like he would love to just swing outside on the playground. So like if I had to use the bathroom, I'd just point the camera at him, go use the bathroom real quick, and so I could take my phone with me and like still be watching everything that's going
Hmm.
on while I'm going to the bathroom, type of thing.
Right.
So I don't know. Again, it just looks like it almost looks like I don't know. I can't even. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. What else do I have? All right. This is. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me see what this is. This is two. This is two things. Wait a minute. This is two things on one. On one. All right. So I'm gonna play this. This is two clips in one. Hold on. Now the first one I think is just ridiculous. I'm gonna tell you it's ridiculous, but you you tell me what you think. Now, this is someone's front yard, and the person that posted this says that there's some creature that comes out of nowhere. Now watch, and tell me what you think.
It's a deer
Exactly.
or a
Yeah.
dog.
Either yeah, it's probably a deer, but the point is what they're saying is that it comes out of nowhere. Well, the
Well,
cat.
it does it.
Well, here's the thing: the camera is probably a motion detection camera, so it doesn't detect it until it starts moving.
Okay.
Right? Like I get these videos all the time on my front camera where there's nothing, and then you see the thing move. Because it's a motion detector. So unless the thing
So
moves, there's nothing.
no, it got dropped from the sky and then start running away. That's what happened.
So that's the first one, and I thought it was stupid, but I figured I'd leave
It's
it in there.
funny. No, that's good stuff.
Now here's the second one. Now the background to this is taken from again a security camera. Now this is a video of a security camera screen, so it's kind of dumb looking, but that's how it is. So in other words, it's on a screen and somebody's filming it. Now this is the cemetery next to this place. So this place has a video cameras next to it. And now watch what happens here. You see that? You see something moving there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that.
I mean, it does kind of look like a human shape at one point. Like it's someone walking along there. But then it's like a circle, like then it turns into like circles or something. Like around here, this looks like a woman or someone walking. And then it kind of vanishes. So
Well, it's more
could that be
believable than the deer.
yeah, I mean, could it be a reflection? reflection
Looks
of
like the
somebody
ground is moving.
walking off camera.
Right. Well,
I
the
don't know.
ground is moving too. There's all kinds of stuff like moving around on the ground too.
Yeah, like aren't those reflections though? Those movements that you see on the ground? Like there, see that? Like those things moving at the bottom? Like aren't those just reflections of the person filming the screen?
I think so.
You know? And then it cuts, right? And then it cuts. So
Oh,
it's
they're filming a screen. I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
I mean, I think that's what this is. I think this is like the reflection of the of the person or persons filming this, filming
Yeah,
the the screen.
I agree. The light from the camera,
Mm-hmm.
from the phone.
All right. So now I'm gonna. I think that one's easily debunked, and the other one was ridiculous. But do I have a third one? Let me see if I have a third one. No, let's see here. That's the baby. Baby. Okay, here's the last one I have. And I get most of these from a site called Slapped Ham on YouTube. And it takes, I got to be honest, it takes me a long time to go through because there's so much garbage that they put up there. It takes
Yeah.
me a while to find something even worth talking about.
Judge says that they have to go and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Judge.
I think Johnny said the same thing. He's still listening though.
Oh, yeah, Gianni, too. Now, you see something walking on the left side. This is someone's backyard footage in the left-hand corner.
Wow, that's weird.
I don't see nothing. Oh,
Now, it's obviously a person. It's a person shape, right? It's a person moving. And I think this is a situation where it's motion detection, where
mm-hmm.
the reason it just comes on is because that's when the camera goes on.
It just looks like a regular human with night vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that was a ghost. I think that was someone coming through my yard or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I think too. I mean, it is kind of odd. It looks like the person's covering their face with a jacket or something, like covering their head. But I don't know. But you could see this is not a ghost because look, it's blocking out the light. It's blocking out the light of that house next door.
Yep.
So there you have it. That's my last one. So slim pickings this week in terms of ghostly stuff to look at. So how was you guys ready for Christmas?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm still
getting there.
waiting. Let's go ahead. Go ahead, son.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm actually waiting on a couple packages right now. I drove by the mall today and it was absolutely packed. I haven't seen
Really?
a mall look like that forever.
That's good.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
I don't see
Yeah,
it
I'm waiting for some packages too, and I got guilted because I didn't put any decorations out this year outside, and um, so I started putting stuff out yesterday. Set it all up, and I didn't plug them in first, so some of them didn't work.
That's the worst, man.
And it was cold. It was so cold and windy yesterday.
Yep, you got to
So
test. You can't do that.
well, in the text line, did you guys see? I said I learned some lessons today. That's what I was meaning.
Yeah.
And so, believe it or not, Home Depot has half off all their Christmas decorations. So I made a score today, and I put some more stuff out there.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, so they're happy now that I did that, and I froze. And then my wife's been doing a lot of baking, and I kind of been helping her like frosting cookies and stuff like that. So
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't really work much this weekend, which was nice. So
Do you enjoy doing the cookies?
yeah, so she did those the Sicilian chocolate balls or whatever, and she made like a big 5 pound you know a thing of dough of it, and she was the she we kneaded it or whatever, and then made the chocolate balls. But I was frosting them, so I was like basically like dipping them in the icing or whatever, and putting them on the trays and letting them. We put them out in our like breezeways. It was so cold they would harden up nice.
Yeah.
And
Right.
but I mean,
Yeah.
she just made so many of them. It was like a whole day yesterday. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And then she made some ricotta cookies tonight, and I don't know. My daughter's got one of her little friends over, and yeah. So
Nice.
yeah.
Cool. I've seen Tommy made some cookies too. What about you, ALV? You do any baking or?
No, I didn't. I didn't do anything. Um, Today was my daughter's birthday, so we went out to eat, and then we had a cake, and that's really it. We
Did
um
you open the wine?
we did. Yes, we
How
did
was
open
it?
wine. It was okay. It wasn't bad. I mean, I was a lot of times with those older wines. So what for everyone who's listening, I saved a bottle of wine. I bought a bottle of wine the day my daughter was, or the day after my daughter was born. And I saved it until now, her 21st birthday. And we opened it and had it tonight. So it's 21 years old. A lot of times with those older wines, you risk, like you risk it coming out bad. This wasn't bad, but it also wasn't great. Like I thought it was going to be great because it was so old. It wasn't. It was okay though. It was okay, but it was a
So
cool idea though. I thought.
so let me ask you this. So is it back when she was born? Was it an expensive bottle of wine? Like if you're gonna do something like that, do you already have to like spend like a lot of money so it stays good, or can you do that with just like any wine?
It was about $30 back then, 21 years ago.
Okay.
So it was expensive, I guess. I mean, like not really expensive, but it was expensive. $30 is not. People don't go around buying $30 bottles of wine all the time now. So back then,
Right.
it was $30 then, and but it held up because I had it in a refrigerator. I had it in a wine fridge. So I think that's probably the secret to keeping it because
It never left the fridge in 30 years, huh?
no, 21
Or
years.
I'm sorry, 21 years. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Jesus. But yeah, that's wow, that's crazy.
So, but it's Barolo, it's Italian, it's a good, it's usually a good wine, and it was good. It just wasn't the super thing I thought it was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be so wow, this is awesome. It's going to be 21 years old. Um, yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I'm
Now,
just
did you do that for all your kids?
I do. I have one for the boys too. So when they each one, so when they turn 21, I have one for them too.
Did you switch it up as far as like what style of wine, or did
Uh,
you buy the same
no,
kind
it's the
of
same.
wine or bottle or company?
It's the same type of wine. It's not the same. It's not the same producer, but it's the same type of wine. It's Barolo, which is made from a Nebbiolo grape in northern Italy. So it's the same type of wine, but it's not the same exact producer. So
So did you guys finish it?
no, we didn't. No, no, we didn't.
Oh, you dumped it right down the drain.
No, we just it's still there. I mean, it's I capped it and it's in the freezer. So
Gotcha.
but plus it was late, and we just had like a half a glass each. It was more so just to do it than anything else. It wasn't like to drink. Didn't really drink it.
Yeah. So we've had some major winds here because Suzanne just wrote the wind here is bitter cold. I think she's in Buffalo, and
Hmm.
it has been brutally cold, like with the wind, anyways. And just being out for that little bit, I layered up, setting up that stuff outside. So she's right.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that
we had
wind
the bad
difference
winds
goes.
too. We had the bad winds too. I mean, Osada, you had flooding, right? You had tons of flooding.
Oh yeah, flooding, and it's just cold and windy too. It's just not fun.
Yeah, you know when the dogs don't want to hang out and play for a while and they're outside, that they just do their thing and they're like at the fence, like let's go. I want to go in.
That's what they're done with it, right? They're done.
You know,
They're not gonna hang out there unless you have like a husky or something like that. Then they love being out there.
no.
Yeah, I had a tree fall. I had a tree fall on our property line. It's not my tree. It's the neighbor's tree, and it fell on the property line. Like, thankfully, it didn't hit anything, but because those winds were bad. And I tell you, the winds actually took. I have these metal chairs that were out on the patio, and they're not solid chairs. You know, like they're like meshed. They're like metal mesh, so air goes through it. The wind still took them and like threw them like 10 yards, like 10, not 10 yards, 10 feet, like threw them like 10 feet. And I was like, wow. I mean, I wouldn't think they would have moved from the wind. That's how powerful.
crazy.
Yeah, all the little figurines we that I put in the front yard. I mean, they actually one fell over. I was waiting to find them at the corner store by my house.
Mm.
This morning when I woke up.
My buddy's fence blew over and it cracked right in the middle of a 4x4 post. He said it was just completely saturated.
Wow.
Like, man.
Oh, thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Definitely
Did you
government,
read?
you know, the government is definitely behind the weather the last couple of weeks, at least in Washington.
Oh, here we go.
The land grab, seizing the land from the people.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did you read Zelda's comment up there?
Let me see Zelda's. I missed it. Hold on.
919. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's happened to me before that the wine is spoiled. And that's simply because if a cork is not perfect, if the cork is not put in perfectly, after an amount of time, air is going to seep in and it'll go bad. So
What's up, James?
It's it's tough. Hey, James, good to see you, my friend. You're up at an odd time, right? You're up late today.
Hey, James, GDM, hello.
Yeah, we don't got too much going on for Christmas. We're going to my parents on Christmas Eve and staying home Christmas Day.
Nice.
That's it. Ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, we are having Christmas Eve, and then we're going to we're hosting Christmas Eve, and then we're going to my in-laws, my sister-in-law's house. So nothing major, nothing unusual. Let's see, Emmanuel. What is Emmanuel saying here?
He's right. Yeah, it was like 50 degrees Thursday. It was it was like literally like 50 degrees, and then
Everywhere in the East
just
Coast was that way.
we started getting smashed with snow, and then well, I'm sorry, the snow came first like Sunday, Monday, and then by Thursday it melted. It was all gone, and then now it's just freezing.
Yeah, I mean, all that snow was gone in a day's time. We had like 6 inches, and it was all gone, melted.
Yeah.
We might get snow. I saw in the forecast on Tuesday here. We might get some snow, like about an inch. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll have.
Was there a troll in the chat?
Who?
Why?
So someone said, "What the hell? Who is that?" And then Joe was like, "Go away, trolls."
Oh, there was a troll.
Anything.
I don't see anyone.
I don't see anything. But I'm not on the YouTube end, so I don't know.
I'm looking to see if there's anyone there. I mean, you guys are all moderators. If a troll comes in, boot them. You know, you don't have to wait for me. You don't need permission from me. I mean, we don't get trolls really here.
No reason to troll this channel.
I forgot. Emmanuel, are you around us or me and Thindu, or are you in this area, or I forget?
Oh,
it was handled.
It was handled. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the underboss took care of it.
There you go.
Sweet Tea had the blade out.
It was probably a ghost.
A ghost troll.
Oh God. Oh really?
Mark Terry beats his father. That was the troll.
Yeah.
Mark
Yeah. Get rid of that.
Beats.
Yeah, that does that. I don't even know how that would even come close to this channel.
I don't know who Mark Terry is, or
I do. I know what it's all about, and yeah, I don't even. I can't. No way how that came over here.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on a package. I was going to go over to my granddaughter's in a little bit because I wanted to, it's just like a coloring book and some markers. You know how they say like how many stops away you are on Amazon? Do you guys ever track your packages? You know what I'm talking about?
Mine
It'll say
just
like,
says it's. Mine just tells me it's going to arrive between 4 and 7 or whatever. It doesn't say. Doesn't say what line, what spot and line I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, it'll say like mine. Will say like you're five stops away, and you can even like watch them. Like can you watch the driver drive? But this one, for whatever, and it'll be like it always starts at like you're 10 stops away, and it'll be within like a few miles of your house, and you can just see them stop at the different houses. Well, this guy is
Get rid
like
of that. Get rid of that, guys.
30
Hey,
miles
just
away,
ban
and
these
I'm the
people. Just ban them. Don't time them out. Ban them.
Yeah, I
Ban them.
can't. I can't do that.
but yeah,
That's
he's
so
like
weird.
30 miles away, and I'm the next stop. I'm like, I don't understand that. That's so weird.
Well, what I've
Remember
been
you?
dealing with the one package I've been waiting for my wife's present is, oh, it'll be there Saturday. Then you look on Saturday, track the package. Oh, it'll be there Sunday, and now it's coming tomorrow. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we get it. Hopefully we get it before Christmas anyway. All right, looks like someone got it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's interesting. I did that because I see it on my phone. They had already done it, but it didn't disappear. They hit him, but the comment didn't disappear. So I don't know. It's strange.
I'll go. He says, we want all the smoke and drama. We dare you. You're a coward.
Yeah. Oh. Well, let me
Who
go
said
over there.
that?
Let me go over there real quick.
Yeah,
Where?
that whoever the troll is.
The asylum is live. Steve Billings Asylum. We have an open panel. Or are you scared? Are you a coward? We dare you. We want all the smoke and drama.
Oh, I'll make up another account and I'll go over there. I'm in the right mode. I can do that. Someone take a screenshot and send it to me. I'll go right on the panel in about 20 minutes.
That's funny. That is weird because you don't get trolls over here ever.
Yeah.
Well, no one's
Are you
immune, I
guys?
guess.
Well, and also
Have
must be
you?
there must not be a lot of people on. You know what I mean? There must not be a lot of people on a Sunday. So
Yeah, that's true.
they're looking for lives. They're looking to entice people from lives.
Looking for lives in all the wrong places.
There you go. Yeah, Suzanne. There were two of them. It's probably the same guy, Suzanne.
Oh, sure, no doubt. There'll be another
Pain
one
like
coming in soon.
it was pain like Bane.
It ain't
Pain.
pain.
Yeah, where's
Pain
Pain when
wouldn't
they
do
got?
that.
Where's Pain when I need him?
Right.
Pain can go over there. All right,
Never
guys. Well, I
seen
think
one.
I'm going to call it a night. I thank you guys for coming up. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah, good show.
Everybody in the
rock and
chat
roll.
for hanging out as long as you have. That's awesome. I hope you enjoyed the stories and our little stint with the videos there. And hope you guys
I'll
have a
be
very Merry Christmas.
You too. Thank you,
yeah,
ALV.
good. Thank you. And I'll be
Thanks,
live
guys.
tomorrow at 2 a.m. if anybody wants
As
my
usual, right? He's
yeah,
he's like clockwork nowadays. He is like clockwork. So,
yeah. Right on.
Good.
See you guys.
all
All
right.
right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you.
All right. So there you have it. Our Christmas shows have come to an end. And like I said, look, I'm going to try to do a pre record. So if you're interested in a Christmas Carol, I have some, my take on the traditional Dickens story that I want to talk a little bit about. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to get to it, but I'm going to try. So there might be a pre record you can watch if you have nothing else to do. So as always, thank you so much for being here and spending some time with me. It was fun. And like I said, stay scared. And on behalf of Lenny, Victor, and um, Edgar, I want to say a very Merry Christmas. God bless.